So everybody here has something that satisfies them. From it being a noise that a drink makes when you open it, to an action being completed, or to two things spontaneously meeting at the same time, we all have something that really satisfies us. Something that satisfies me every time I do it is when I turn on a computer and I hear all of the components inside work together to bring the computer to life. Because I have been working and building and fixing computers for so long now. So when I get to hear that, it's a sound of achievement. And I'll never forget the first time that I heard it because I bought this laptop off a friend. It was like I bought it off him for $50. It was a Gateway. It was thick, it was huge, and it was heavy. And I put it down in front of me after buying it from him. I pressed the power button, and that's all you heard. Just silence. There was nothing happening in this machine. There was no life being brought into this machine. And so I took my hand off, and I was like, okay, I'm a little worried. I pressed it again, and I pressed it again, and I kept pressing it, and nothing was happening at all. So I was like, okay, I'm going to call this friend. He scammed me. I tried to tell him that he scammed me, that it didn't work, that I wanted my $50 back. He told me no. I begged for my $50 back, and he still told me no. So I was left with, okay, I guess I'm just going to have to fix this computer. So I flipped it over, and I took all the screws out of the bottom. I didn't know what any of them did or if any of them were important, so I just took everything off. And then I looked inside, and I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. So for about 2 months, I was just digging at this computer. I was replacing parts with other parts, and Lord knows if I was doing any of it right. I was just going at it. And as dangerous as that sounds, I didn't know any of the dangerous possibilities that could happen from it. Well, then finally, I had the idea to just ask another tech guy at my school. So I was like, okay, I have this laptop, and it's not turning on. What am I doing wrong? I've been doing this and that and this and that for months now. What do I need to do? And he told me, have you checked this power supply? And I was like, I have not done that. I have not changed the power supply. That's a great idea. So I went home, I got in the computer, I took a power supply out of a different computer that no longer worked, and I got in this computer, and I put it in the laptop, and then I flipped it over, put everything back together, and I pressed the power button, and I heard everything spark to life. Everything sparked to life. Everything was coming on and everything. But the computer it still didn't turn on. Nothing worked still. It gave me it got it to life, but it just didn't bring the whole computer to life. So I was like, okay, I messed something up. So after hours of putting all the other pieces back in, I was able to flip it back over, turn it on, and it worked. And it was the most relieving thing ever because I was working on this thing for months, and I finally got it to work. And that's something I feel every time I turn on a computer. Every time I turn it on, I get that same satisfaction all the time. And it still excites me. Every time I get to build and fix a computer and I have all the components together, and it's so scary because you don't know if everything works until that first time you press the power button. So that first time you get to press the power button is so satisfying to me all the time.